Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah. Amma ba'd. One of the problems that many of our youth have, and alhamdulillah I like the series of problems that are mentioned in this particular seminar or segment because they're very relevant. Of course, the problem of time, the problem of excuses, the problem of I'm never going to be this and that. But one of the problems is that our youth really do not have high expectations and high goals. They settle for mediocrity. They're fine with just being okay or average or just passing the grade. And they don't set their standards very high. And I find this to be extremely problematic because the Quran and Sunnah is very clear that we set our goals to the heights and we don't settle for mediocrity. We're not satisfied with just being average or okay. We aim for the best and we strive for excellence in all that we do. And I could quote you so many stories about the classical scholars, about Ibn Taymiyyah, about An-Nawawi, about so and so. But wallahi, the fact of the matter is that there are living examples in the very world around us. People that most of us know and have heard about who set their standards very high and they were persistent and dedicated and they reached the heights of whatever they were doing, even though when they started, people would have laughed and scoffed at them. Who are you to go and become such and such? And I give you the example of perhaps one of the most legendary scholars of the Quran alive today, or I should say scholars of the recitation of the Quran. One of the Qurra, one of the most famous Qurra, whom we were blessed to have to one of our conferences, Sheikh Ahmed Nu'ayna. Sheikh Ahmed Nu'ayna, just log on to YouTube and just see the amounts of videos and the amounts of viewers that have seen his videos. In the millions. And he is no doubt one of the most legendary scholars of the recitation of the Quran. He's mastered all 10 qira'at. Allah has blessed him with one of the top voices in the world. Do you know that he grew up in an upper class Egyptian background, having very little to do with Islamic sciences. He didn't go to an Islamic school. In fact, by training, he was a doctor. Again, going back to our previous speaker's point that doctors, mashallah, they have done quite a lot. One of the reasons, in my opinion, is because they learn time management. They learned that they need to utilize their time to the max. Dr. Ahmed Nu'ayna was a pediatrician. He specialized. He didn't even just do a general doctorate. He became a pediatrician. And he still is a pediatrician, a practicing pediatrician. One day he decided, you know what, I want to memorize the Quran. As a middle-aged man, he decides to memorize the Quran. He gets this idea that, you know what, I want to master the Quran. And he goes to one of the greatest scholars who happened to live in his neighborhood of the Quran. And this scholar said to him, you want to memorize the Quran? He said, yes. He said, I want from you just one thing, dedication. He said, of course, I'm dedicated. But he said, Sheikh, I'm a doctor. I don't have all the time in the world, but I can be dedicated and persistent. So the Sheikh said to Dr. Ahmed Nu'ayna, fine, you need to memorize and master 2 lines of the Quran every day. The Sheikh said, look, I know I don't have time, but 2 lines, come on. I can do more than 2 lines. 2 lines is nothing, a kid can do 2 lines. The Sheikh said, no. Your requirement is 2 lines, but you master all of the rules, all of the differences in these 2 lines a day. So the Shaykh told us, Dr. Ahmed Nu'ayna, he told us, I began. And slowly but surely, there's only a few thousand lines of the Quran, really. There's only 600 pages in the Quran. If you memorize 2 lines a day, you're basically finishing a page in 7 days. So a week you finish a page, right? And there's only 600 pages. He's already memorized 4 or 5 juz, so he has around 20-25 juz left. So basically in a few years he finishes the whole Quran. And because he's studying with the Shaykh, he memorizes all of the different recitations, all of the qira'at, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with a beautiful voice. Guess what happened? Slowly but surely he began being invited to different events to recite, graduations, other events, until slowly but surely he began to rise up in the ranks of Qurra, even though he's not a Qari by training initially. He's a pediatrician. And he kept on